First, we will discuss the place-time model of social interaction and the different types of communication. The first is face-to-face communication. People are more cooperative when interacting face-to-face than via other forms of communication. Face-to-face contact is required to renew trust and mutual comprehension. Face-to-face team meetings are particularly important when a group forms, when commitments to key decisions are needed, and when major conflicts must be resolved. Face-to-face communication is easier and therefore more likely to occur than other forms of communication. People primarily rely on nonverbal signals to help them conduct social interactions. The second is same time, different place. People communicate in real time, but are not physically in the same place. Most common means is via cell phone. Same-time electronic interaction, such as brainstorming in groups, increases team productivity. Some important guidelines for managing virtually are to get dressed, decorate your home space with pictures and profiles of your team members, a discussion board, and a calendar. The third is different time, same place. Team members interact asynchronously but share the same workspace. People rely a lot on their physical environment for important information and cues. The fourth is different place, different time. People communicate asynchronously in different places. The most pervasive means is email. The problem of conveying mood and tone via email communication is a challenge for teams. Now we will discuss enhancing local teamwork. Redesigning the workplace. Redesigning the workplace to make everyone more comfortable enhances productivity and eases the atmosphere for the workers. Virtual or flexible space. Organizing office space to improve focus, collaboration, learning, and social interaction is done by keeping the physical space temporary and changing basis to meet different needs. Co-working communities. An office that people work in, but not with each other. Similar to the way people work out in a gym. Now we will talk about reduced status differences. In traditional face-to-face interactions, we all limit the amount we talk based on the status of the other individual. If he or she is of a higher or more important status, they will usually do the talking and make the decisions. As well, dynamic cues also decide how we interact. Men will likely make a decision before a woman. Interestingly, communicating over technology, these cues are reduced. This leaves those most knowledgeable to do the majority of the talking because it is difficult for higher status individuals to dominate a discussion. Now we will discuss equalization of participation. Reducing status and creating more anonymity reduces the social norms we govern ourselves by. This inhibition results in a focus on the content and not what everyone thinks of your status showing suit. It's a lot easier to criticize an opinion or idea when the person is not standing in front of you. Since everyone is more likely to contribute, this also makes it more difficult to come to a consensus. Now we will talk about virtual teams. A virtual team is defined as a team that meets without all the members being present and whose members may be working at different times. Virtual teams can be separated by a few miles or by an entire continent, and they can still work closely together. Virtual teams can meet and communicate through a variety of means, including email, telephone, and video conferencing. Virtual teams can combine the talents of the best people in the company. There are three major factors to consider for virtual team success: the team members' locations relative to one another, the percentage of time spent face-to-face, and their level of technical support. Now let's talk about threats to virtual team processes. The physical distance and asynchronous aspect of communication may negatively affect motivation and effort. Team members may not know the best talents of other members, and therefore they may not utilize those talents to their advantage. Now let's discuss strategies for enhancing virtual teams. Structural solutions for virtual teamwork. Methods are used by various companies to address the rapport and trust problems that virtual teams encounter. Group support systems. Combines communication, computer, and decision technologies to support decision-making and related group activities. Examples of GSS include electronic messaging and chat, teleconferencing, document management, and calendaring. One example of a GSS is a collaborator, which is the combination of technology, tools, and infrastructure that allows scientists to work with remote facilities and each other as if they were co-located. Virtual team technology, a surge of collaborative web technology solutions for teams. Initial face-to-face experience. Bringing together team members for a short face-to-face experience is often used by companies who want to lay groundwork of trust and communication for later teamwork that will be conducted strictly electronically. The introductory face-to-face meetings play a large role in the development of trust and collaboration, especially when the context is competitive. Temporary engagement. Team members work face-to-face before they are separated for distant work. One-day video conference. Using video conferencing to develop better relationships. If an initial face-to-face meeting is out of the question, an alternative may be to at least get everyone online so that people can attach a name to a face. Touching base. If teams do not have an opportunity to work together at the outset of a project, then providing an opportunity for them to touch base at some point can be helpful. This method is most useful for teams in which two members are remotely located. Lastly, let's discuss interpersonal solutions. Schmoozing. Contact between people that have the psychological effect of having established a relationship with someone. A virtual handshake. Master virtual communication etiquette. Listen actively and ask questions. Avoid monologues. Get everyone involved in the conversation. Summarize often and confirm understanding. This eliminates miscommunication. Agree on actions and next steps. Always talk about future meetings before closing out a virtual meeting. Undercommit and overdeliver. Reputations are established quickly, so undercommit to delegated work and overdeliver when doing assigned work, and a good reputation will be attained. Show integrity. Be truthful and forthright without being obnoxious. Avoid sarcasm and jokes to avert misinterpretation. Maintain confidences. Avoid spreading gossip. Handle sensitive material appropriately. Increase your familiarity. Socialize with the group as often as possible. People tend to like those whom they are most familiar with. Coach the virtual team. Focus on interventions at team launch, natural breakpoints, and at the end of a performance period. This helps familiarity and appreciate the work that was done.